everybody, this is Mr. Regner, and this is our Spiral Review. So we are reviewing, this time, week number 7. I'm looking at day number 1. Keep in mind, our questions on day 1 are very similar to the questions you're going to see all week long, including on the graded assignment at the end of the week. So if we can do well today, we will do well throughout the week. Let's go ahead and take a look at it, starting off with question number 1. Question 1 says, write 10 to the third power as a product of tens. And then write 10 to the fourth power as a product of tens. So we are going to be selecting this and not actually answering it, but instead answering it as a product of tens. In other words, how many tens are there that are being multiplied together? Think about your base and your exponent. The base, the big number, is the number that's being repeated. Your exponent, the little number, is the one that tells you how many times it's being repeated. That should help you out with number 1. Let's go ahead now and take a look at number 2. In number 2, we are given a diagram, and it's really important to look at it carefully. It says if 3 layers are added behind this first layer, how many cubes would there be in all? We have to add up all the cubes we see there. And then imagine we're adding on 3 more layers. That's a total of 3 layers that we're adding on, plus the 1 layer we already have. That's 4 layers. So we can find this answer by taking the total in that first layer and multiplying it times 4, because there's 4 layers. Or we could add it up. You know, that amount, plus that amount, plus that amount, plus that amount, 4 different times. Either way, that's going to help us find our answer. Let's move on. Take a look at question number 3 now. It says find the sum. We're adding together 2 fractions. Remember, when you're adding fractions together, it's super important to find a common denominator, and then we just add the numerators. Your denominator stays the same, your numerator changes. Let's move on. Take a look at question number 4. In question number 4, it is time for us to know about time. We've got to read this clock face. You know, this is something that you may have learned in the past, or maybe just never stuck, but just a reminder for you, as you're looking at a clock face, there are 2 different sized arrows. The smaller arrow points to the hour, and it moves slower around the clock. The larger arrow, or longer arrow, points to the minutes. As you look at this, the smaller arrow appears to be kind of in between the 7 and the 8. So we can say it's not quite 8 yet, it's still 7 o'clock. And we look at the longer arrow, and we're looking at where that's pointing. That's the number of minutes. Now it's pointing to the 10, but we would not say that it is 7:10. Instead, think of each of those little bitty dash marks there as the minutes. There are 5 minutes between 12 and 1, right? If you count it up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's like we can multiply that big number times 5. That 10 is actually indicating 50 minutes. If you'd prefer to count up all the little dashes, you could do that as well. The time here, without really giving you the answer, but I kind of am, it is 7:50. We don't know on these clocks if it's AM or PM, so there is no AM or PM designation for this. Let's move on. Take a look at question number 5. It says 514 times 7. Now, if you want to make yourself a little area model to do this, that's awesome. If you want to do this by just doing the kind of traditional multiplication steps, multiply 7 times 4, 7 times 1, 7 times 5, add those placeholder zeros as you go if needed when you have double digits. That would be fantastic too. Let's move on and take a look at question number 6. Number 6 says select the statement that is true about the values of 4 and 90 hundredths and 49 thousandths. Well, look at those digits again very closely, because you're noticing 4 and 9 right next to each other. It appears they're very similar, except the decimals have moved. In this case, the decimals have moved in 4 and 90 hundredths to the right. I guess I'm doing that the wrong way on the video. To the right, what appears to be 2 times. Sorry, I got a little distracted there because I saw another decimal at the end. That's just a period to end the sentence. So in that second number, it's not 0.049 point. It's just a ending sentence period. All right, so looking at your options here, you got to think, what are we doing there if we're moving our decimal to the left 2 times, right? We know we can move our decimal to the left 2 times by multiplying, right? By a 100th. I don't want to give you an answer, but I kind of did. Hey, that's our review here for week number 7. 6 questions. As we go throughout the week, all the questions will be very similar to these questions, so it's worth your time to practice, prepare, and be ready for our graded assignment at the end of the week. Have a great day, and good luck!
Math! Aftermath, it's the aftermath. Aftermath, it's the aftermath. Math class is fun, but when it's done, stay in the zone. On your own, it's math review, made just for you. Take a video wherever you go. Aftermath, it's the aftermath. Aftermath, it's the aftermath. Oh yeah.